mentioned writing from different perspectives, having written picture books, middle grade, young adult, now, knock on wood, soon to be an available adult book. Does your process change very, very much between those? I mean, obviously, I'm sure there are some things that change, but as far as how you approach the story and how you work?
No, my job is to tell a good story the best way I can. That's my whole job. And to try to keep everyone else out of the room as long as possible. Those are things I've found to be successful. If I find a spot that feels painful, push there. Don't turn away from the things that feel like you're not ready to write them. Because you could be dead by the time you're ready to write them. And what a shame that would be if you didn't explore that facet of yourself now. No, when I sit down to write a picture book, and I've got a couple sitting right here next to me, actually. I mean, the tone is different in different cases. Like, I write some things that are silly and fun. Like, I have a series called Starla, which came first, the chicken or the friendship. It's the first in a series, and it's funny and it's silly and it's voicey. And then I have a picture book called An Ordinary Day, about birth and death happening side by side in a neighborhood. And the tone is very different. The voice is very different, but they're all me. And I'm not special in that I don't contain more multitudes than you contain. We all contain multitudes, and we all have a right to tell many stories, and we all have a right to take up space. And we all have a right to explore that which fascinates, terrifies, titillates, and compels us.
Before I forget and move on here, what is the title? Is there an official title for Just Harriet 2? And when can we look forward to it being available?
Just Harriet 2 has a working title, but I don't think I'm supposed to share it yet because I'm pushing heavily for it and I'm hoping that it will land. We'll see. My editor did refer to it by its working title in the letter he wrote to me. So that's, fingers crossed. But I think it'll come out February. So this one comes out in February of 22, Just Harriet. And I believe the sequel will come out in February of 23, and the third book in the series the following year. There will be at least 3 books just like that in this series.
So when did you, and if your editor is listening, if you want, you can just use this free of charge, Harriet Harder. You're welcome. When did you know that it was going to be 3 books rather than just 1?
Well, I wanted it to be, I liked that structure very much. There's an arc that goes across the whole 3 books, which is what will happen with Bat and Thor. And then within that, there's an arc for each story. And I, found that to be very satisfying as a writer. And I think a lot of readers found it to be satisfying as well. And so I wanted another series. So it was pitched as a series that would have an over arc along with smaller churns within each book that moves toward that arc.
That makes sense, because I was wondering as I got to Bat 2, which we'll talk about here in a moment, that seems like something that should have come up in book 1 that you would have gone to immediately. But if you knew ahead of time that you had 3 books to work with, that you got time to space that out, that makes sense.
Yeah.